Jared, we appreciate your time as always, and thanks for being with us. Coming off another heartbreaking loss, this time to the Vikings, and your coach after the game stood at the podium and couldn't hold back. He wore his emotions on his sleeve, and I don't think any of our opinions matter. I think the most important opinion is those guys in the locker room and those guys that will be in the locker room. What was your reaction to the head coach and hit the emotion he showed at the podium after the game?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's the people in that locker room that matter, and when he's that passionate, and we knew that about him. I mean, that's not anything new to us about how much he cares about us, how passionate he is. But when you can see it on his face, when you can see it the way he feels for us, and he said it in his post game, is we're putting in the work, we're putting in the time, we're putting in the effort, and unfortunately haven't reaped the benefits yet. But you just keep chopping wood, and I think that's how he's built. That's how we're all built, and that's the only way to go forward.
It's my impression that what brought that on was that he is asking. You guys are doing. The players are doing everything that this coaching staff is asking. And it's just not good enough, or the ball hasn't bounced your way, or whatever the case may be, and that he's crushed for you guys. Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, I think so, and I think he just cares so much. I think he's a genuine guy, and we feel that from him every single day in the building, and he's kind of been the energy guy every day and the positive guy, and we feel it from him. He's a special type of dude, and the kind of culture that he's building here is something that is going to be hopefully special for a long time.
He also said, and it was one of those kind of felt like look in the camera moments, we're going to be on the other side of these things, and we're going to be on the other side of them soon. Does that mean anything? Does that resonate with the guys in the locker room?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, like I said, you just keep chopping wood, and you never know how close you are until you're there and you're on the other side of it. And I think for us, we've had a couple heartbreaking losses, but at the same time, like those aren't things that we didn't lose each game because of the field goal. We lost each game because of things that happened throughout the game and the field goals at the end. But I think we know that there in each of these games, really all five of them. There have been moments where we're right there, we're right in it. We can win the game with a few plays. We can win the game if we, throw a touchdown or make a play on defense. Like we're right there, and I think that's the thing that is encouraging and is keeping us, with our chin up.
What's your take on where things are at after 5 games? An 0-5 start. Nobody wants to start off 0-5, and you're pointing out some encouraging things. But what's the take after 5 games, and how quickly do you see things progressing?
I mean, the take is that we've lost all 5 of them. We're 0-5. I don't know if there's anything else. There's no moral victories. There's no, we did this well. I mean, I know I just pointed out a couple things, but it doesn't make a difference in the wins and losses column. So, I think, like I just said, I mean, we're in a place where we want to start seeing the other side of that, but we can't get down on ourselves because we are doing the right things in practice. We are showing up daily and working hard, and just need to see it translate to the field a little bit better.
Everybody's obviously got to work on their own things to get better. For you, 6 fumbles so far in the first 5 games of the season. 4 of them have been lost. What can you do, and how do you go about having better ball security?
Sure. Yeah. No. I think again, I said this at post game. I think you look at them all individually. Like what was the cause, and ultimately it's my job to take care of the football, and so it doesn't really matter specifically. But as me looking at myself specifically, 2 of them were snap exchanges. So that's, not necessarily, in the pocket. And then last week, that's lack of ball security on my part. Of course, I know those guys up front want to be better, but it doesn't matter. If I take care of the ball, I should be able to take a sack and not just fumble the ball there. So something that I'm absolutely conscious of and always working on, but not something that, I'm going to overly put too much pressure on myself with. I think I've done a decent job of it.
Is that something you have to change mechanics on and grip the ball with 2 hands while you're maneuvering through the pocket, or is that just unrealistic?
Absolutely. I mean, there's times where you do save some fumbles by keeping 2 hands on the ball right there. I didn't. I had 1 hand on the ball, and that's probably why it happened. But throughout my career, I think I've been pretty good at keeping 2 hands on the ball. Just had a lapse in ability there to do that.
All right, the 2-pointer. First of all, what was your reaction when Coach Campbell told you to stay on the field to go for 2. After you guys had pulled within 1 point late, you got the great play by Jalen Reeves-Maben. You score a touchdown right away. What was your reaction when Coach said we're going for 2?
Yeah, we knew when we were walking out on the field that we were going to go for 2. So it was kind of like, all right, when we score, we're going to go for 2. We didn't find out after the touchdown.
So that play,
but yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, the play in particular, we've dissected it and talked about it a lot because unfortunately it's lost in the wash with the way the game ended. Were you going for 2 because you know this play is going to work? Because, I mean, let's face it. Kadero Hodge is a guy that was on the street and comes in and has made some plays for you guys, but he gets, I mean, it was an interesting design play to bring him in motion and then run him against the grain. Was it faith in the play? Mm-hmm. Take us through that play.
Sure, yeah. No, we've ran that a lot in practice and have had some success on it in practice, but you never know how it's going to work in the game. And I actually think Kadero, that was his first time doing that because it was always Cephas in practice, and Kadero had to step in for him when he got hurt. So I don't know if he had actually done it before, which was kind of cool to see him step in and do it with no practice on it. And yeah, you know, he's not technically the guy we're trying to throw the ball to there, but just happened to come open in the back of the end zone and was able to find him. But yeah, we knew we were going to run that play for the 2-point. Kind of as the turnover happened, that Jerem forced, we were able to kind of have a conversation on the side. Okay, we're going to score. We're going to do this play for 2-point conversion. So we kind of had it all set up. Absolutely.
He had never run that route before.
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. He may have. I mean, he never ran it with me. That's for sure. He may have done it on his own, but we never did it together.
Wow.
Can you talk about that wide receiver room? I mean, unfortunately, you guys have dealt with injuries. As Cephas goes down, Terrell Williams looks like he's a long ways from coming back. Just talk us through these guys in the room right now, because you know Lions fans don't know a whole lot about them, and you know you know more, but maybe not much more.
Yeah, no, I actually played with Kadero in L.A., so I've got some familiarity with him, and me and him have had some decent chemistry that we've had from years ago. But everyone else has been great, I thought. I mean, Cephas obviously went down this week, and we won't have him for a little bit. But Khalif's done a tremendous job. I think St. Brown's done a tremendous job. Trinity stepped in and done a good job. And, you know, ultimately just trying to find ways to get those guys the ball in space and let them work and find ways to get them moving.
You know, in our job, we're always trying to pick the next guy, and I have hopped on board the Quintez Cephas bandwagon, and you have played with some pretty good receivers in your career in L.A., Woods and Cook and Cup. And is Cephas a guy that you can see ascending to that kind of level when he gets back and healthy?
I do. I really do. I like Q a lot, and I think he's got a lot of ability, and I think my favorite thing about him is how strong he is, and you know, I don't know what his 40 time was in college, but he plays a lot faster than you may think. Like he's down the field, he's able to stretch the field a little bit, and he goes up and makes those contested catches, and he's got strong hands, and you know he can break a tackle, and I think that's my favorite thing about him as a receiver, and I think he's only going to grow. He's a hard worker. He's always asking the right questions. He's always on time. He's always trying to do the right thing, and I think you know when you have that attitude, it only goes up from there. So hopefully, we can get him back sooner than later and continue his growth.
Looking ahead to Sunday's matchup against the Bengals, Joe Burrow, the quarterback, he's a first overall pick. You were first overall pick. Is there any kind of fraternity among those players who are selected first overall? And you know, did you send him any kind of text message or anything like that after he was drafted? And who was the first player that reached out to you after you were drafted first overall that was not a teammate?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have not talked to Joe. I'm a big fan of his, and Zach Taylor is a good friend of mine. He coached me in L.A., so we've had talks about him, and I think he's a tremendous player. But I have not talked to him. But yeah, there's a little bit of a fraternity, I guess. You know, when you see some of these guys, and you have that bond in common. You know, there's only one number one pick every year, so you know I was lucky enough to be the one in mine. But I don't remember for you who reached out to me. That's a good question. I can't remember, but no, I did not text Joe either.
Well, last week you were named an NFL Community MVP, and you gave 40,000 pounds of food to needy families. Talk a little bit about how you chose what you wanted to support in our community.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, when I got here, I knew the opportunity to help was there, and just being in my position and being able to, I think it's part of my responsibility, not only as a guy who's capable of doing it. But being the quarterback in a city like Detroit, I think it's important. And something that I wanted to do was find ways to give back. And with Forgotten Harvest, we were able to help some food insecure families and kind of brighten some people's day the other day. And it was an honor to get that award. I wasn't expecting it, and just kind of something that happened organically. And it's been pretty cool, though, to be able to have an impact and to be able to give back in a short amount of time. And hopefully I can have an impact here for a long time.
The part that he's not mentioning, because we asked Jared about this last week, is if he tries to take in all the grocery bags in one trip
right.
on each finger. He brought in 40,000 pounds worth of food in one trip.
That's impressive.
I did. Yeah, I had them all up my arms all the way up.
It's got to be real tired, I'm sure. Hey, this is kind of a lighthearted question, but I noticed this past weekend the new James Bond movie came out. Are you a Bond movie fan? And if you are or you're not, what's your favorite movie franchise?
Oh, man. I am. I mean, I saw Casino Royale. That's probably the one that I have the most. I've seen the most, and I wasn't like a Pierce Brosnan, James Bond guy really. Favorite movie franchise. Growing up, I was a huge Harry Potter guy. I mean, that was kind of right up my alley when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. I'm trying to think of another one with a bunch of movies like that. I'm not huge into the Avengers and all that. I don't watch a bunch of those. I can't think of anything else. Probably Harry Potter, yeah.
Okay.
Harry Potter works.
Are you watching Squid Game?
I am.
I think we got two guys here that have finished it already. I'm a couple episodes
Good
in.
for you, Jared.
Yeah, it's
me and my girlfriend watch it probably once a week and just get an episode in. Yeah, I'm about halfway through as well.
Gotcha. All right. Well, when we're all done, we'll talk about it. So and a win.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for your time. Good luck. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about a win.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
Jared Goff here on 97.1 The Ticket.